Blessings, peace, and love, everybody. Welcome to Pi. I am here with Lawrence of Asia. Blessings, blessings.
What's up, guys? Lawrence of Asia, coming at you once again here from one of my favorite places with one of my best friends in the whole wide world. And we're in Pai, Thailand, north of Thailand. It's my very good friend, Rocky Kandola, Vikram Singh Kandola. We've been friends for about half a lifetime. Welcome to the podcast, Rocky.
Thank you, my brother.
How do you like my house, man? How do you like our house?
Our house, we're living in luxury for what, dollars a day right now.
Yeah, we are. So this house cost us roughly about $48 per day, about 48 bucks a day. 2 awesome bedrooms upstairs, so we don't have to share a bed, thankfully. And
which we had to in the Philippines one time. No fun. 3 of us, me and Paul.
Yeah, man. So, Rocky, you've just come back over to Asia from LA, right? And we've been here now for what? I flew in from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and now we've been here in Pai, north of Thailand, north of Chiang Mai for about this is 4 days?
4 days now, yep.
And how's it feel? You still got jet lag still going on, or?
Man, we've been out in nature so much, getting in the water, that I'm feeling better and better every day. And that's the beauty about it out here: the weather, the air quality, the vibe. It lifts the soul up. It takes away ailments that we have and lets us think about things deeper and process it easier. Instead of in a city like LA with tall buildings, with people chasing money and material all day long, it's easy to get caught up in that. I did for 9 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. City versus countryside. It's funny because in the last last 100 years, majority everyone's been moving to cities, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's moving to cities, but I think since COVID, there's also been a trend for people to move away from cities.
Exactly.
And
I see that.
you'd say that, where would you say you stand with that? Do you still feel drawn to cities? How do you balance all that? And where are you at right now in your life? Also tell me a little bit, why are you here in Asia this time? Have you ever been to Asia? Are you Asian? Who are you?
I might be Asian.
And where are you from? Yeah. Where are you born? What brings you back to Asia this time?
Cool. That was about 10 questions. I'll start at the beginning then. My name is Rocky Singh Kandola. As Sean said, best friends for 20 years now almost. Born in New York. I went to 9 high schools in 4 countries. We can dive into that later a little bit. Problems with family, and I was a tough to deal with kid, as Sean knows from my 17, 18-year-old days. Your question about the city life versus the country life, that has been something that's been on my heart, as you know, very heavily for quite some time now. And the balance for me is striking between business and personal life, which as entrepreneurs we're always trying to do, right?
Yeah.
People say separate business, separate life. As an entrepreneur, it's very tough to do. Many times our lives and our businesses are totally intertwined. And for me, it was no different in LA. So I'm very grateful for what LA gave me, for the way I was able to build and hustle ground up, build a brand in a city that is full of brands and full of artists and full of creative and some dope people as well, you know what I mean?
Right.
And to stay there and do that was great. I'm grateful for it. But
that was LA. You're talking about LA.
LA, yeah. And that's the but that I bring is I think if we're not very conscious and careful of what we're doing during those times, we end up building up one side, our business, success, and money, and we don't focus on family and life and movement and relation and self and peace and meditation and connecting back to yourself. And the further you get away from that, even if you scale your business, in my belief and what I've seen, especially in myself, things won't last. They won't last very long. They'll come to a point where life will slap you in the face and say, hey, you better pay attention to this. So bring it to your last question about why I'm here and what's going on. I got a few slaps in the face in life, and the biggest one was nothing physical or nothing that happened in the outside world. It was being in LA and wanting to put my entire heart and soul into, this is me, anybody that I could just align with and have a good time and good vibe with, and trying again and again and seeing that most people just want the next best thing in LA, which is okay. You can choose to do that. But that's not what I'm looking for in life. I didn't start a business for that reason either. So yeah, moving away from LA, even being away for 4 days, the pressure of constantly fitting in, looking a certain way, even just navigating the city, getting to a coffee shop that's comfortable and chill is a whole ordeal. Out here we hop on our scooter and 30 seconds away, Namo, your good friend, is right there with the best bread and best coffee in town. And it costs $1 or $2. And this might be talking in the future. Both of us are in a place now where we don't really have to worry about too much the difference between $1 or $2 coffee and a $5 or $6 coffee, right? But taking that out down the road and playing it out, continuing to do that is just not. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like you're working hard for your money and getting value for it.
Yeah.
But here it does.
Yeah, the money that you're spending when you're here in Asia, oftentimes you feel like you're getting your value.
Exactly.
Same with the haircut, etc. But oftentimes it feels like you're getting shortchanged in America these days in just about every sense. Everything just seems to be overpriced and overinflated more and more and more. I think you were hinting there at, putting your energy into another, and to translate for you all, Rocky, I think what you were hinting at, or what you were saying there was, that they're always looking, put your energy into someone, talking about, an ex-girlfriend, and then the girl is always looking for the next best thing. Hypergamy. How do you feel the women are here in Asia versus in America? We're in Thailand. We're not even around very many Thai women here in the north, but in general, and you don't even have to speak just to Thailand, but how do you feel with American women, let's say American women versus any other women in the world? You can talk about any of them. How do you feel that they compare, and are you done with American women at this point?
Yeah, an American woman that hasn't traveled, hasn't opened her mind to other places, and is following most propaganda, most stuff they push on social media, it's just not good for your heart, for your soul, for your life, for your business. And
not conducive for a relationship.
Exactly, for a good life, And me speaking personally, I'm a February 14th Aquarius, so I was always like, fantasy, I love it. I want the best wife, and it's gonna be perfect, and it's gonna
February 14th. Valentine's Day.
Exactly. It's sad. It's not as sad. It was a shocking, life-changing realization for me that is still internalizing right this very second, as you know. But no, I don't. We don't. As men, we don't deserve that. We don't need that, and we don't really need anything from a woman, an American modern woman, that they're trying to provide, because what is it that they're trying to provide? Like, when we ask them themselves, what do they say?
Well, they always seem to, the modern feminist seems to always be leading with her looks and her sex appeal above all else, not realizing that men, if we're going to take them seriously for the long term, they're going to need more than that.
Much more. That's a baseline. It's like I think women are really confused about that. They really think that their beauty is going to be the thing that keeps us there, and it's just not for. I would say all men. Even the guy that doesn't get girls, he finds a hot one. Like, that one's not going to keep his attention that long if that's all she's bringing to the table is some good looks. Because we travel. There's 8 billion people in this world. I have to remind myself all the time. I can go to any city and state in any country in the world, and I bet I'll find 3 beautiful girls in a second. Beauty is everywhere. It's also in the eye of the beholder or whatever. But in my opinion, that's all American women are bringing to the table these days. We could start speaking about exact specifics in relationships from what I've seen in my eyes, in my own relationships as well as my friends. And when it comes to hypergamy, I don't even think women understand the word or care about it. It's just their nature, and
it's just who they are.
It's who they are. Yeah, it might not even be conscious. And LA really puts that in your face.
Not even right or wrong per se. Just it is part of female nature.
It is what it is.
You got to always be up leveling as a man, be the best version of yourself, so that you can be the best option. But inevitably, social media is encouraging women to keep looking, and it is a very challenging thing to form a meaningful bond with someone when the media and social media in particular is always pushing women to look elsewhere, and that you don't need no man kind of energy, kind of vibe. So
yeah, I mean their inboxes are full all day long. If they're a halfway attractive girl, they're going to get the attention.
Sure.
All day long. So
yeah, they're basically always on the market. I mean, that's why for me, I can't have a serious relationship with a girl who's on social media. I can't have a serious relationship with a girl who's out drinking in bars, etc. It's just not conducive to a healthy relationship.
Exactly. I actually was grateful. I mean, it was a situation. One of my exes, a young girl who I met. And she had social media, right? Wasn't big into it. My mistake, right? She wanted to pursue something online. Life coaching, this and that. And I was her boyfriend. I was like, I'm going to try to support you. Let's see if you want to do something that's cool. You're doing it at home, podcasting, whatever. Wasn't really thinking about it too much. I use social media at this point for my businesses. I don't really dive into too much scrolling as much as I can.
Right.
But I got to see her over 2 years. Totally changed. She bought 20,000 followers.
She bought 20,000 followers.
Yeah, with $600 that I gave her for some small company.
With your money.
With my money. Spent the next 2 weeks glued to the phone, making sure that each one of the ones were perfect. Like, very intentionally trying to pick, like, who to follow. And the next year, I watched it. I watched it unfold. I watched the changes unfold. I watched the lies that came. Like, I'm like, did you make this to coach people or help people? Or, like, what are you doing? And it's just like, it turned from talking about actual spirituality, which is what attracted me to this woman in the first place. She came and sat next to me in a hammock with a book that I was actually interested in. And that's how it started. So like, in my mind, I was like, great, this is going the right way. And with that amount of attention at that age, that spirituality, all that stuff, like whether it's in your heart or not, they're not leading with that.
So 20,000 followers, and she became a different person, and it consumed her mind.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all the attention she needed.
Exactly. It's what she needed, and now it just keeps adding more followers. And I've blocked her on most things. And funny enough, like she reached out recently, and I saw some things, and I was just like, wow. At 22, she had 2 boyfriends before me, maybe a little bit innocent still, but big problem with the father. Father would give her drinks and alcohol, let guys come into the hotels with her before I met her, right? And I heard these stories, and I met the father, and I was very careful. I was like, I don't know if he's the best influence on you right now. Like, I spoke to him as well. Like, hey, let's not give her drinks. When we're going out, like we don't need to have drinks like that. And all that coming together when she started doing these things, she kind of came to me. She's like, oh, I want to teach men. And I looked. This defined the draw line for me. I was like, so you want to do this spirituality stuff?
First big red flag coming from her mouth.
22 years old, and she wants to life coach men, right? And I was just like, so you want to make this exclusive for men now? So you want to have these one-on-ones with these men at your age? And
what? When she said that, were you just kind of confused, kind of not sure, or did you have an alarm bell that went off immediately?
Alarm bell went off, but I was trying to like remain neutral. I was like, okay, like you're trying to help people. Okay.
See, can I say something? Well, gentlemen, you cannot suppress that inner voice. You got to trust it. Modern feminism is telling us to, second guess ourselves and to take the female's perspective, to basically put to truly entertain the female perspective. And I think, gentlemen, you really have to trust, really have to trust yourself, that inner voice. We all have it. And you gotta listen to it.
The more often you ignore it, this is from experience, the quieter it gets, the more difficult it is to actually hear when you need to. And that might have been one of the first times when I was like, something is wrong, let me just ignore it. Let me see what happens. And I saw what happened. I mean, within 6 months to a year, coaching men became out the window, and it became just connecting with these random men online and talking. And like some of the conversations, like I would even see, and it's just like, this is leading towards you wanting attention and you making relationships outside. And like, she came to me and said, oh, I want to have these guys that are friends. And I'm like, well, you're not going to have me. Like, this is not appropriate. And I had to question myself for 6 months. Am I right? Am I wrong? Is this good? Is this bad? Am I being too controlling? And it's right. In my opinion, I don't think
100%.
I will not have my wife or my main girl have a male best friend.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, of course.
Why? And I mean, even my recent relationship I had past this last girl, we had the same issue and the same problem. And it's like, she didn't even have a male best friend, but she wanted the option to be able to have one of them. And I was just looking at her, I was like, I respected this woman so much, you know, like this was a yoga teacher, a healer, a spiritual lady.
So you want to tell us who your last relationship, what she was to you before you met her?
Yeah, so went through a lot of tough, I mean, I was married, still haven't been divorced from that yet. A couple relationships after that, up and down, using for money and all kind of problems with this last younger chick, with her father and family and even police and stuff. It got bad. So I took a break after that for a bit. I told you I dated some really, really questionable chicks in LA that were all about the poly lifestyle, this and that. I was trying to figure out what to do. You know, I was lost. And eventually I decided to say, and I think I shared with you, I'm taking a break. Like I don't want to look at women, and I don't want to look at women.
Right.
But I don't want to see them. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, I want to focus on me. I want to keep straight headed.
Yeah.
So it was about 4 or 5 months, and probably the longest in my life I've been able to say no, stay away from relationships. Even like I wasn't even hooking up much. I was going out a bit. I told you, talked to some girls out and about in LA. Nothing even remotely halfway on the way to seriousness, and I was making sure that I wouldn't even get a number.
Right.
I don't want to talk to you the next day.
Right.
I'm bored tonight. I'm out. You're out. Obviously, drinking alone. You want the conversation, whatever else you want. We can have that tonight. Bye. After that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was also working myself, yoga every morning, hot yoga, gym, and things like that. And I found which I thought was a safe space in LA for me. When I mean safe for me, I just need good energy and vibes around me, right? And acceptance. I have a very, very tumultuous past. Violence, drugs, prison, everything. And I've overcome almost all of it.
Wait a second. You've been to prison? Oh my God.
Can't tell what that.
Oh my God, guys. He's been in prison. This guy's dangerous. So
Fucking dangerous, bro.
yeah, tumultuous past. Yeah, Rocky. Yeah, you definitely have had a tumultuous and difficult past.
So
You know, Rocky's got a really, really soft heart, a really sweet heart, a genuine soft heart, big heart, and it's tough these days, gentlemen. As a man, you know, protect yourself. Remember to care for yourself first and foremost. Protect yourself emotionally, spiritually, because the women these days, and I mean just the women these days, and perhaps not even these days, just in general, you know, they very well can it can cause a lot of pain. So be wise.
a lot. I mean, I think this is finally getting to be more prevalently spoken to younger men, that choose wisely, because that will be your downfall.
I think that's very true. I think the biggest downfall of men is not one of finances. It's not one of a death in the family or something of this nature. It's, from what I've seen, even in my own family and all around me, it's the difficulty and the chaos around the woman, females. Yeah.
Yeah, it's America's extending it to the rest of the world almost now, just because of social media and the connectivity. And so I'll share like this story, like, you know, my past with prison. I've nearly died multiple times. Half my face has been ripped off. Half my arm has been cut off. I've been ran over. I've been shot at. I've been stabbed. I've been to psych facilities, jails, prisons, rehabs. I've been betrayed. I've been stolen from. This last 4 months, I've never been hit in the heart and in the mind at the same time quite as deeply. And I'm grateful for it. I'm actually, it hurts quite fucking badly, but I'm grateful for it. This time it's a lot different. I'll tell you why, because as I was saying, that 4, 5, 6 months where I really got focused on myself, like, maybe not like I respect you the way you do it, my brother, you take it to another level, you know, with semen retention and everything, but I was 10x better than what I was doing, you know, when I was getting out of those last relationships. So when I met this woman, right, I had been praying. I want a healing type, spiritual, peaceful, and for some reason in my mind, I didn't want like someone that practiced yoga or was a yoga teacher. So I found this safe space in LA, which, you know, I had a red flag. Once again, didn't listen to myself. I went there the first day, liked the class, took it from a guy actually. Came back the next day and I was like, you know what? There's Krishna in here, there's words written in Hindi, I speak Hindi. The vibe is nice, they have incense every day. It's in a location which is funny, ironic to me. Across the street is where I used to party at. And it was nice to sit there and read a book and be like, oh, I used to party over there, now I'm sitting here chilling. Unbeknownst to me, this studio is ran by, not women-owned, because that's just like a terminology, they're ran by feminists and modern day feminists that are masking that femininity under the guise of spirituality, healing, Krishna, and all these types of things. And that part rubs me the wrongest, right? And it hurts the deepest because that's what I was searching for. So this is my teacher. From 4 or 5 months, I would take her classes, not just hers, everyone there.
Your yoga teacher.
My yoga teacher. So the red flag I didn't tell you, I asked to be have a program called Karma Yogi, right? Where you come there, you clean up, you help, and they allow you to take some classes for free. I didn't care about the classes at all for free. I told them that. I said, I need to be here, y'all. I would love to clean up. I even started cleaning in the back on my own, have a porch. I would arrange things nicely. I would try to clean up as much as I could. And I asked to be part of it. They told me, no, there's a waiting list. Sorry, not right now. 2 days later, I came in, and a young gay man asked the same question I did. Got in just like that. I said, yeah, okay, you can start today. I didn't say a word. I was definitely hurt, but I was like, you know what? Let me let this slide. At least I'm in a place where I can come to in the morning. And I have really bad anxiety in the morning. It's part of my trauma from childhood, right? And I can work through it as long as I can get to a good yoga studio, a good gym, somewhere that's not loud and crazy, just a nice place, right?
Right.
And that was what that place was for me, and that's where I met her, taking those classes. Mm-hmm. So eventually, time went on, we saw each other here and there, not had much conversation, but one day, she started talking to me more, and she started approaching me and asking me,
Your yoga teacher.
Let me take it a step back. This is not the right way to think about things. I put people on a pedestal. I do that in relationships, but I also do it with spirituality. Because I want that. I want to see someone that shows me goodness and shows me a way, and I can be like, yes, this is good, and follow it, right? And we're humans. We all have different sides. So that's a dumb way to think in the first place. Regardless, I'd look at this woman like that. I would listen to everything she said in class. I didn't even make eye contact. My eyes would be closed, and she would guide in a yoga form, just as they're trained to do, yoga teachers. And eventually she started, kind of talking to me more often and hey, Rocky, good to see you, give me a hug. And finally she approached me and asked me for my number. It's like, hey, what are you doing? I didn't really think much of it. Once again, I was kind of on my own, and honestly, I was so focused on myself and also still hurt to the point where I was like, even if I'm praying for it, it's not going to come to me right now, I haven't put enough work in yet. I might have been right. Probably I was right now, looking back. But yeah, so she came to me and she started asking me to come with her to places, to do things. I remember one of the first rides we took together when she asked me for my number and asked me to come with her to a Krishna event downtown, right? She shared with me in the car, I have everything I want. I'm so happy and spiritual. I've done healing and I'm waiting for Krishna to bring me my husband. And so in my mind, I'm just wow, how I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed. And I had that feeling of it's love, which is what we've been told love is, that amazing butterfly feeling, and I don't think it is anymore. Anyway, so that relationship developed like that. She pursued me.
Yeah.
Over the course of 3 weeks, I barely messaged her 2 or 3 times, and she would invite me to things. I would say yes sometimes, no sometimes, very casual stuff. But she started to get to know me on text a little bit on the phone, because she would ask me random questions and I would share a bit. I'm an open person when it comes to stuff like that. Whether it's a friend, a relationship, with potential or not, it's easier for me to let it out and talk about things than it is to try to skirt around the bush or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so the fires in LA happened.
Yes.
Right? And I left town and went to San Diego during the fires. And I was a little bit scared, honestly. I'm from the South, we are, right? We know hurricanes and tornadoes, we'll go swim in the rain with them. But a fire is what do you do?
So you were in LA at the time of the big fires that
half a mile
6 months ago or a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, no, January.
Yeah.
4 months ago. Yeah.
4 months ago, yeah.
4 months ago. And I decided to get out of town, right? And she was asking me to come hang out and stuff like that, and I didn't answer. I went to San Diego. And I didn't know what else to do there. I was just kind of hanging around. I was drinking. I was at a bar, and I was about to go to Mexico just to get out of the country, just to go hang out, just get a nice place like this for $50 a night and just kick it. I can't be in LA anyway. And out of nowhere, she really pushed, hey, I want to get out of LA too. I'll come down there. And I'm just like, okay, we haven't kissed, hugged, there's no it was still very almost platonic. I knew that she was pursuing a bit. It was quite nice to feel that pursuit, you know what I mean? And also quite nice to hold the place of not right now, maybe later, tomorrow, even though I was immensely attracted to her, and not only her looks, because she's beautiful, but her spirit. That touched my heart with my eyes closed, you know what I mean? And so she came down that night, January 10th, And I'm thinking this is a yoga teacher, very, very spiritual, very big in the temple, prays and goes and devotes her time and, is really connected there. So obviously I didn't think like we're having sex. I thought it was going to be like cool, like I get me to like take her out for dinner, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Within an hour, I mean, we're in bed, we're having sex, you know what I mean? Like woke up the next morning and it was almost like click, like we're kissing, we're on the beach, we're laying together. 3 days later, we get back to LA and we're laying in my bed and I decide like, you know what, spiritual, yoga teacher, good person, good vibes. I hung out with her 3 days, super sweet, super nice, no arguments, no unpleasantness. Leaving my girlfriend.
All right.
Yeah, I would not talk to a woman. I told her this too, unless I was sure I'm about to marry you. I've done it before. I've had sex. I've done relationships before. I'm not at that place right now. I'm not giving you my time, my energy, unless I think that we should be married and have a family together and do this thing. So, I was smoking weed at that time, and I shared that with her, and I was like, hey, like before coming to this relationship, I really want to go ahead and let go of this weed thing too. I've been working on myself, and I'm going to go to the Philippines with my brother for 15 days and take a break, and I'll meet you in Guatemala. We went to Guatemala after that. So things were good. We chatted, you know what I mean? Like everything was kind of decent. I started seeing red flags though on the phone in the conversation.
All right.
It's almost like I'm dealing with a business, like a business person in a certain sense. Like when you call me, make sure you are totally free and this and that, and then call me at this time and not at this time. And I was like,
this is how she was talking to
while I was in the Philippines.
Gentlemen, what that is that's the woman leading the frame. Anytime the woman's leading the frame and you're not leading the frame, things are going to get out of balance. If you find a woman who's trying to lead you on a regular basis, also be very much aware. We as men, we want to lead the frame. But go ahead, please.
Yeah, that was it. It was really subtle, and I think that's the place where we mess up at as men, because this whole game of women and their hypergamy, it's all subtle. It's so subtle that you really can't articulate the subtlety of it most of the time.
They're very subtle power games.
Exactly, and if you don't pick up on the first ones and stop it there, they continue, just like anything, momentum.
You give them an inch, they take a foot, then you're in deep water, and you're wondering why you're drowned in quicksand.
Exactly.
And you really got to listen to that intuition. You got to trust your intuition. Modern day society is telling us men don't, that the modern masculinity, your inner voice, you're insecure, that's toxic masculinity, etc., etc. No, listen, trust your inner voice.
100%. And that's a muscle. It takes, like I said, like I've done it. I've not listened to it enough times to where it's quiet, and you have to rebuild it. I have to rebuild it on a daily basis, not even just with women, like with small things. Yeah. It's an internal, work. To pick back up on the story after we started dating and we went to Guatemala together. Yeah. That was when, I was happy. I shared my brother, and I was like, dude, I finally found like a woman that's like happy that I'm like, she's sober and happy that I'm sober. She's spiritual and happy that I'm spiritual. She's a teacher and I'm her student. And in that position, I didn't feel any kind of like I'm putting her on a pedestal. I was like, this is my yoga teacher. There's a lot of respect here. Unfortunately, after everything that happened, weirdly enough, I still have respect, not maybe for her, but for that divine connection between a guidance and a student and a teacher type of thing. And that's what's important to me.
Here's something I might caution you on, and I might also mention is that, anytime we put, we're taking guidance from a female, guiding us as a male, spirituality or anything, that may be a mistake to, take any kind of guidance from a woman. But, I've had plenty of good yoga teachers as well. And I guess in that form, they're a good yoga teacher per se, but even spiritually speaking, I think, I think generally the best gurus or teachers are generally going to be men, especially when, on how to guide us as men. We need to take direction from men, not women per se, but
which is why this is more important.
The fact that she was your yoga teacher and you were already, she was already on some kind of like slight pedestal just by the fact that you were seeing her as a teacher, not that it had to be that way, but that was the frame.
It was, and see the power dynamics are very subtle in relationships as well. In the beginning, the fact that she pursued me, it was kind of like I was in the power place, right?
Correct.
And then like it was very. I told you like, when we went to Guatemala is when red flags came out the ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
tell us about some of the red flags you experienced when you were in Guatemala. So she was your yoga instructor and yoga teacher. Now they're boyfriend, girlfriend. Now they're going to go on this pre-planned retreat that she'd already been planning prior to even meeting Rocky, probably, or pursuing Rocky. Now they're all going down there as a class, 6, 7, 10 people. Tell us about some of the. This was your first time to travel outside of America together, correct?
Yeah, I mean we're still fresh. We haven't dated a month at this point.
Yeah, just a couple weeks into the relationship, say 3 weeks into the relationship, and then you guys going out of the country for the first time. Tell us about these really strong red flags you started to see.
Yeah, it's so I mean we're all humans, right? But when you look at someone that you're taking guidance from, man or woman, and you see that they came to a place where they're able to even have the opportunity and the blessing to guide others, you do expect a certain level of like, okay, they must be quite regulated and aligned. Integrity, honest, things like that. Right. A big red flag. If a girl tells you, I never lie, I never just don't believe her. Like I heard that and I'm just like, I knew that already. So in the back of my mind, I'm like now I'm just like, okay, why are you saying this? And now I don't believe much is coming out of your mouth, right? But
she said she never lied. Yeah.
It started happening from the second that my father actually dropped me to her father's house because we're taking, her friend is picking us up.
All right.
The energy is really weird. And I was just like, I've never felt that from her before. and I was like, okay. So I tried to kind of like be cool and be chill. And like it ended up, softening. I talked to her father and we chilled. And I started realizing then that this girl has like a very high level of anxiety that is masked with everything else. And that's not, a lot of people have that. I have anxiety. I just don't. I distracted, but I'm also open and clear with people. Like, hey, I don't feel good in the mornings a lot of times. And it started like that, right? So we're on the way to the airport. We get there finally, and we're sitting down. I remember, and I needed to do some laptop work. Like we're about to fly out, and I'm about to be shut down. And I stood up and I went to a desk away, and I started working on it. And she got upset about it. I was the first time she got upset, and I was just like. Okay, no worries, I can do this later. I don't know what I did, but maybe if we're starting a trip, let me just hop in and be present. And so I did. And so we went to Guatemala, and I have to bring up the subtle small things. It feels stupid to say even, but this is the small stuff where it starts.
All right.
The first or second day of the retreat, we're getting ready. We did surfing, we did yoga. I'm laying on the bed. She's in the restroom, right? We're all about to go to dinner. The rest of the people are out there.
All right.
So I'm just laying there, just kind of chilling on my back, just waiting. And she walks out of the bathroom and just walks straight out. And I was like, oh. And I was like, I just said, as I was standing up, I was waiting for you. And I said, I was waiting for you, and stood up. That turned into her coming back an hour later, bringing me into the room and crying. And saying, like you said, you're waiting for me, I don't need this, you're trying to control me, you want me to wait for you now? And I'm just like, whoa.
So you were just trying to be sweet and waiting for her, and she turned it in somehow. Flipped it and turned it into a negative.
And it freaked me out because I really wanted this to work, man. This is I looked up to this chick, which whatever.
It's like crazy making, like insane, doesn't.
That was the first one. It was so subtle, bro. It was so subtle, and I couldn't even see it then properly because when she started, a woman walks up to you crying, and it's your girlfriend, right? You soften up a bit, right? I did, right? I'm just okay, let's talk about this. I didn't, and she was like, were you being sarcastic? I was like. No, babe. I was just I stood up the same. I was like, I was waiting on you. Wait for me. That's it. And then it's. I can't even recall the smaller, subtle things right after that because it was such small stuff. Going out to surfing class and she would try to get in front of me and go with this certain surf instructor guy, and I was just I don't know what you're doing. This is weird to me, right? I'm just we're not fighting to get to the front, here. And I just kept noticing small stuff like that. And then I expressed there, these two photographers came in to the retreat, right? Two men, two guys, 25, 26, good looking dudes, fit dudes, right? Seemed kind of cool. Or we got cool at the end, but in the beginning they were kind of distant. I think the retreat leader told them to kind of just take photography in the back. And we were talking, me and her. And I was just let's be easy around these two dudes here. Like they kind of like they're drinking and stuff as well. They're not part of the retreat. They're just doing photography. And immediately just got blown out. It's like, oh, you're one of those now.
You're one of those.
Yeah, you're one of those. Like
you're one of those.
You're one. And then
so you said like let's be cautious. Let's be careful what these guys are drinking.
I mean,
you felt a bit uneasy.
I felt a bit uneasy is what it was, and we're all staying in a big house together. You know what I mean? Like I don't want some drunk guys like walking around with me and my girl in there.
And she made, instead of being understanding or hearing you, she made it into a big deal that you even mentioned it.
Well, no, she tried to play the game, I think, and now looking back, I see it. So she tried to start being cooler with them, right? Like talking to them a bit more. I noticed when I was surfing, and I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm about to get to know these guys now. Like, and then as soon as I got off my board, they were sitting there, and I walked upstairs, and I'm like, what's up, how's your name, where you from? Blah, blah. I started talking to them. We ended up getting really cool. And these guys reached out to me after that as well, and like, I mean, obviously, if they didn't know she was my girl, they were probably done something. I just kind of made it clear, but like, she was going to take the role of like, let's see if this guy's is going to make himself clear. And I did it respectfully enough and cool enough to where there wasn't any kind of odd thing about it. But she didn't like the fact that we became cool. I could tell. I was like, oh. She was like, oh, now they're friendly now. Like Rocky has these friends there. So I mean, it started getting weird, right? The retreat ended and we had 15 days left to plan an Atitlan together, right? So I mean, I travel alone, you travel alone, we travel together, things go pretty smoothly. And once again, coming a woman leading, I'm just like she thinks like she called herself the lone wolfette because she took 2 years of her life and traveled a bit in hostels and with some money that she made or something, walking dogs or whatever, right? And just considered herself a perfectly known traveler. And I was like, sure, I believe that you know what we're talking about, but like, are one of us going to make the plans here and leave a little bit or what? So I started doing things, planning, calling taxis, and she would just stop it. She'd be like, no, let me talk to Manny, the gay guy who's a retreat leader, and he'll book something for us. Like, all right, whatever. So he booked something, and that got canceled. So I had to come back to me. I'm just like, girl, like, can I just, I travel all the time.
Can I say, yeah. Naturally, it's in our nature to lead, and, you want to lead. Like when I've lived in Korea, I'm not able to lead in that society because I don't speak the language and I can't write. And then therefore my girl's leading in that situation. And it feels totally off. The dynamic feels off. Having to ask her to do things, transfer money, do this, do that, and book a taxi, etc. Whatever it might be. Order the food for the house. I mean, these are kind of the wife's female things to do anyway. But point is being in a society where you don't have command and you don't speak the language, you're out of balance, you're not able to lead. Naturally, inherently, we are made to lead. Not in an overbearing way, just in a caring, guiding way. And if a woman is not allowing you to lead and is combative or resistant or combative, careful, caution, red flag. 100%. Because and the thing is, these days,
that might be a man.
Yeah, it could be a man. Caution. These days, those traits, that combativeness, is so inherent in the Western woman, and I do believe that's why men all around the world are looking elsewhere for women. Looking outside of the big cities, looking outside of the West, and they're scouring the entire planet, looking for something that is quality. They don't even know what they're looking for. They're looking for.
We know what we're not looking for.
We know what we're not looking for. We're not looking for the disrespect, right? And ultimately, men gravitate to where they are respected, and we're looking for respect. And men naturally appreciate femininity, the softness of femininity, and that's found more readily here in Asia than it is in the West. Japan especially, gentlemen. If you do, you won't speak the language, but that's a great place. But go ahead, brother.
I was going to say to that point, guys, like this, we're talking online, me and you right now as well. This information is out there. These women are not idiots. They are playing strategic games. They know this as well. They know how to act feminine for a bit if they want to get you in their hook as well, which is I feel like happened to me. Because I realized this woman that I was in love with, that I thought was feminine and great and spiritual, actually had no real femininity about her at all. I can tell you why, for a few reasons. Biologically, she has an insert device inside of her. She can't get pregnant. most of the time.
Birth
control, and she never has a period. So she has no normal cyclical women's cycle at all.
Yeah.
Her speech manners, I started paying attention more. Very Cali style, right? But very manly, right? Just masculine, like rough around the edges type, which wasn't there like in the first month, the whole time she was my teacher, especially.
Yeah.
Until Guatemala. And then things just started to go downhill. And I mean, I think I shared with you when I was there, you asked me how I was enjoying it. And I said something to the effect of, I wish I could talk to you right now, but I can't. Because I think a week before that I told you, like, dude, I found someone, this is it. Like, this is perfect for me.
Yeah.
And so a few situations arose that I can share that I can share with you. And one of the first ones was, I forgot to mention this to you, we were going for a walk one day down the beach where the retreat still, before Atitlan.
Right.
And somehow the topic of money came up, right? She's like asking to pay for it. You want me to pay for half of it? I'm like, I don't worry about it. Like, I paid for the entire trip. She paid for her flight because she booked it already, but I paid for every single thing else. A couple things, like she would give some money here and there and make sure to be like, hey, I paid for this. I'm like, okay, cool. It's nice to have that. It was a new relationship, but I mean, I'm taking care of 95% of the nice hotels, of everything else, the transportation, stuff like that. So we're sitting having coffee from the retreat, and she starts to talk to me about how, like, your father has this money and this and that, and like, we don't need to split that, and I'm just like, how did this like, where did this come from, right? Like, I didn't bring up the money thing, and I think she was feeling a little insecure. Her past boyfriend who shared me put it on her that she needs to make money and she's a broke girl, she doesn't have any money, which I don't know what this guy's deal. That's not something, I don't care if a girl has money. It means nothing to me if a chick has $0 or $1 million. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
And so she started kind of like just really getting into financial talk and just like, are you going to support her? Like, so I'll cook and this and that. Maybe like, are you going to buy the brush? I'm like, well, of course. Like, I mean, I told her from the beginning, like, I want to provide for my woman. I want to take care of my family. That makes me feel great.
Yeah. And these modern women, they feel incomplete if they're not pulling their weight financially 50-50 because they've been told that they're losers, that if they're not successful, if they're not financially successful, which, as we know, a lot of men do care about that kind of thing, but I think when we're entrepreneurs and we're relatively successful, the last thing we want is our woman to be bossed over by another man,
and I mean, so for her, she had her own thing going too, right? So I was really happy with, like, she walks dogs and teaches yoga, like, so there's no dynamic like that really going on. But she started, like, I noticed that she would drop subtle hints like, I'm not financially capable enough to take care of her, and I would be like, I would kind of look like, and my last ex, the young chick, did this too, and had me actually believing it. Like, I'm not going to share how much money I have or how much money I make on this right now, but like, I make enough to do whatever the fuck I want to do. Like, and I don't care about planes and mansions and stuff like that. Traveling, good food, good vibes, good hotel if I want, hostel if I want, whatever. And so I know I can take care of a family. I know I can do more. And I let that little soft, subtle, because it was subtle too. Like, both women were like, ooh, I'm not sure you don't have enough, this and that, right? And the first ex went to a 50-year-old Chinese, supposedly billionaire, and she's 25, you know what I mean? So, like, it's crazy. But this chick, the more recent one in Guatemala, when that happened, I was wondering, I was like her, maybe she's just feeling insecure or worried that, it's not there. Right. So I shared with her. I opened up, some account information, talked to her a little bit, and she was kind of like a bit happy. She said, okay, cool, comfortable with it. And at the same time, she's like, I don't have any wants or needs. Like, I don't want clothes, I want this and that. But wants to continue to hustle and hustle and hustle. And this became a problem when we got to LA, I'll get to that later. But this conversation was very, very weird. Like, it came out of nowhere. It felt very like there was a strategic. There was a reason for getting into that.
For her to say, I don't think you have enough to take care of me. I'm not sure if you, in actuality, she just wanted to dig more into your finances.
Looking back too, as a backpacker type of chick, she was wondering, like, is this guy gonna, we known him for a month, I dated him for a month, is this guy gonna get us some good hotels in Atitlan and take care of us? Is he gonna, or am I, because she told me I'm gonna stay in a hostel if I was alone. Like, she's like, I didn't really want to this time, but like, if you weren't here, I was gonna stay in a hostel. Okay, cool. So I did. I mean, I realized now, like, that conversation was leaning towards that, because within hours we had to pick the next hotel. You know what I mean? So, and then by the time we got to Atitlan, away from the retreat, then the red flags started coming out of every angle. We had barely been dating, and she wants to bring up these topics of, like, like in the future, like I want to make sure I'm able to go travel with my girl to Argentina and be with her for a month. I'm just like, okay, like why, what do you want to do? It's like, I just want my time with her. I'm like, but why are we talking about this right now? Like why are you trying to make sure you have some kind of like escape or hole or like freedom? I haven't said anything about you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm not controlling you. I'm not asking you things like that, you know what I mean? But when she asked me, I was like, it would have to depend on the woman who I knew what y'all are doing. Like, no, I don't want you to go to Argentina, a country away, and go do whatever and drink with her and stuff like that. Because as I find out now, I mean, that's what this girl does. In LA, she's Krishna conscious, spiritual, yoga teacher. In Mexico and other places, she has some drinks and does what she wants to do. I'll get into her sexuality later, which hit me the hardest and the worst because I haven't felt this disgusted. I haven't felt this disgusted long. It actually feels disgusting to think about it in a bit. I'll get to that in a bit. But a couple more things that happened was the vape conversation. We're sitting at a dinner table. I had just talked to her a bit about a documentary that came out from my childhood. Quite a deep thing. We're having a little bit of discussion of it. I could tell she didn't understand it, but she kind of brushed over it a bit.
Right.
And then somehow brought up a hypothetical conversation about vaping and not having her own vape and using a man's vape. Or something like that, right? And I was just like...
Sounds like a TikTok challenge.
Something.
To see if your man is insecure.
Something like that, literally, bro. And she was like, and I was like, no, like I would rather you or my girl, like not put something in her mouth that...
So a hypothetical scenario. She brought it up if somebody were to have a vape and I were to smoke another man's vape.
She was like, I didn't have a vape, so I'd sell someone else's vape and some guy's vape, and I was like, well, if it was like, don't put your mouth on what some other guys would put their mouth on.
So naturally, we'd have a boundary. If you're healthy, masculine, you'd have a boundary and wouldn't want your wife or girl to share, a drink or touch something that someone else is touching with their lips, or even so if you did or didn't, you have every right to for that not to be cool. And then she tried to basically shame
insecure. Oh, you're not. I thought you were cool.
Oh, I thought you could just kiss other men. You should be cool. Yeah. So I thought you were cool.
I thought you were cool. I thought you'd be understanding. And so like it was. That was the one time where I decided to be strong. Like that was when I started like wait a minute, like I've been hearing red flags, I've been feeling this stuff, it's been a couple weeks now. This conversation I'm not backing down on. So I told her I was straight up, I was like,
so you gotta choose your battles. And this was Rocky's like, no, this is a battle. I know that this is fucked up. So.
And I was still like clear enough and distant enough from my heart, like with her, like at that point. Loved her, but I was like not to the point of like where I couldn't walk away very easily. I told her straight up, I was like, if that's the type of stuff you want to do, like I just wouldn't, or anyone want to do, I wouldn't be with that woman, right? And so somehow that conversation was actually quite tough, and she was quite mad. We're walking back, not even mad, just quite, I don't know what
there
the
was
word
so
is.
Much tension.
There
was so much unspoken tension, yeah.
Right, so we're driving, I remember this now, we're driving back in the tuk-tuk from the restaurant that we're eating at, and we had the conversation to the villa we were staying at in Mountain View, beautiful place. And something happened in the tuk-tuk. It bumped or something like that. And she went, ah! And I was like, hey, you okay? And she like, sarcastic, she's like, yeah, I'm okay. What do you mean, am I okay? Like, I'm just like, okay, she's really not. The conversation must have bugged her. So we get home and like, I'm thinking like, okay, no, let's just chill. Let's sit outside. We sat outside, did a little bit of yoga, a little bit of reading, and I'm thinking that things are gonna be okay. That night, she laid there in bed and just out of nowhere started berating me. And I'm gonna tell you the story because like I finally recorded it because I've started doing this as I've been with many women, I've been in many houses alone and women coming over, and I know what claims they try to make against men. Man, I suggest it. Don't record yourself having sex, that might be illegal, but like have a camera in your door so you can prove things when you need to, like at least if you're, especially if you're dealing with a lot of women as a single man in a big city. Yeah, I mean it's saved me, trust me. Anyway, just out of nowhere, man, just like, I've been together for 3 weeks at this point, right? And she said something to the effect of like, you treat me like crap because you tried to control me and this and that, and I'm just laying there and I'm just like, and so I tried to go to sleep and I couldn't, and eventually I'm like, hey, can we chat? Like, did you really mean that? Like, we've been together for a tiny bit of time. Like, if you feel like I'm treating you like shit, I think we should go ahead and like, take our time and separate. Like, I can head back to Bali, a different side of Guatemala. Like, I actually brought this up. And we ended up going outside and sitting for 2 hours. And she knew I was like halfway out the door, right? So she placated me.
Yeah.
Oh, babe, no, I'm sorry. Let's go sit outside. So I sat there. I thought we were doing a real meditation, a connection thing. She was just placating me that time, right? So anyway, it worked. I was like, okay, like things are okay. You know, cool. She's not trying to be that. And the next day, we're having a day, you know, do yoga, flowing a bit. I've started noticing, and you said this word earlier, combativeness. Like I started noticing the combativeness from her, and you know a little bit of my history. I have violence in my past, and I wasn't violent on a woman, but like combativeness in me, right? Like I can get into those conversations, and as a grown man now, like especially my last relationship, I realized like it's a waste of your fucking time to even try. You know what I mean? Like,
Don't get into arguments with women. The other little subtlety that was just coming to mind as well is when there's tension, when there's stress, as a man, take space. Men, take more space. Don't try to work on the relationship, in the relationship. Just take space. Sometimes, actually, most of the time, the strongest thing you can say is nothing at all and just take your space. Go on a 2, 3, 4 hour walk, disappear for 1, 2, 3 days if necessary, depending on the severity, and more space.
Yeah, that was the strongest thing I could have done that night. I should have left and just went for one night and been like, because it was quite triggering to hear that in the middle of the night, and then she apologized and did the whole little thing.
Yeah, the Bible says, do not sleep under the same roof as a scornful woman.
Yeah, you might not wake up.
You might not wake up. I mean, or you might not sleep, but you might sleep with one eye open and not sleep, you know, so yeah.
So, the very next day, right, we were trying to do this trip together. I was 1 foot out the door after that. The next day, we're had a good day, right? The day went by fine. I was so happy. I was like, okay, like the last night wasn't really that big of a deal. And then we're going out for dinner again the next night, right? We're waiting in our villa. We're about 10 minutes outside of town, so it's quiet.
You're still traveling with the other folks at this point?
No, we're alone. So
you're alone around Lago Atitlan or something like this. You're in Guatemala, traveling alone at this point. Okay.
Exactly. And we're waiting for a car to come by, tuk-tuk, right?
Yeah.
To take us to town.
Yes.
And so we're standing there together. There's no argument going on, nothing. It was kind of chill vibes, right? More and more I was realizing, like, this girl is not who I thought she was. The spirituality, the emotional regulation, the chillness wasn't there. It was a very big mess, and she had a huge level of kind of anxiety or pain or trauma. She never shared. She was too closed off to share with me, so I don't know. We're waiting for a car, and so the cars start driving by, right? And this one car drove by, and I could tell before they even got close, there was 2 guys. They had, you see them like turning a bottle up with music on, tinted windows. This girl walks up to the car. I'm just like, and I look at her, I'm like, yo, don't walk up, like, what are you doing? Come here. And she turned around and loud enough for the men to hear me, don't tell me what to do. And that was, for me, that was the line.
So you're in Central America, some guys are obviously drinking, driving around with loud rap music or something playing, and you as the man are guiding her, and you instruct her, you say, you know, hey, don't walk up to that car. And then she what? She
walked up to the car.
And
she had to learn for herself, and she kind of got scared. And she's like, oh, and she walked back away. And then she didn't apologize. She didn't say anything. I didn't say I told her or anything like that. I was just like, thank God these fucking idiots didn't try anything else, and like there was no situation. Like, you know.
So you ask a girl to please not do this or please do this, and they purposely do the opposite.
Exactly, and that's when women tell you they want to be safe and stuff like that, and they don't, and they do things like that. You have to realize that there's such a big disconnect from that the person, the woman, she doesn't know what she wants or what's going on in her brain, which is probably prevalent for a lot. But at those points when you see things like that, it's why, like, and I would never want to see a woman get hurt sexually, physically, anything. But many people tell me, Rocky, like, if you want to stop getting your tooth broken, getting in trouble, and getting in fights, like, because you're by yourself with money drinking, like, don't go to bars, right? Wouldn't you tell a woman the same thing? Hey, like, if you don't want to get sexually abused, don't walk up to a car with 2 guys drinking in the middle of the night with a skirt on.
I mean,
like, it's our world.
It's totally reasonable to, you know, ask a girl not to walk up to a car and then she purposely does it anyway. I mean, it's just blatant disrespect to you. It's a massive, massive red flag. And I mean, how can you have a healthy, harmonic relationship with a girl who acts this way? Unless she's willing to get on your page and flip the whole script. But even a girl who's willing to do that, I mean, she's at a level of such disrespect that Yeah, it's really hard to envision how that could potentially in the future even be
Anything.
a healthy relationship whatsoever.
And yeah, I mean, and I was at the point where when I was talking to her, like, I was trying to lead her. I was like, hey, like, I don't want to really be in LA anymore. You know, I know you have the temple there. We can find Christian temples in a lot of places. We can do this and that. It's not a rush, but like we're looking to have a family. And this girl told me, like, I want to have a family in the beginning. Right?
That's heartbreaking, bro.
This is why it hurt.
You want to have a family. You're planning to have a family with someone, and then you start to see these kind of colors coming from them.
Yeah, I mean, there's more things happen in Guatemala, right? But one of the bigger ones was like I started talking about, like, you know, hey, like, I have land in Alabama, I have condos in Florida, there's Christian centers, there's good communities there. Let's get out of LA and like we can start getting out there. You're a facilitator as well. I can make this space beautiful. You can have a shala out here, like, and not just getting it to her. This is something off my heart as well, right? This is something I'm offering for the world that she could have been part of. And it was met with like zero thought. It was strict, like, no. You know what I mean? It's like, so I was like, okay, like, let me think about this. Like, if she's strict on it, no, right now, what do? I don't think I want to be in LA anymore, but I want to pursue this for a bit. Let me just back up and take my time and see if I can start to slowly, because she already was like ready to take a trip with me to Alabama to meet my parents, which I canceled it because we got back from Guatemala. Okay, not the best vibe at the airport. The very last day at the airport, we had the gender role, masculine, feminine conversation in the middle of a restaurant, and she's crying and stuff like that. She's like, I thought you were different. I'm like, what do you mean you thought I was different? Like, you thought I'm like a bitch? A sin? Like, what do you want? You want a feminist man? Like, it's like, yes, I want a man that is feminist. And she, she asked me, she kept trying to prove it, and I would not budge. She's like, do you believe women should be treated equally? And I was like, yes. Like, you shouldn't be abused, you shouldn't be hurt, just like we shouldn't. Like, then you're a feminist. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying yes, I'm not a feminist at all. You know what I mean? And we went back and forth to the point where she's crying about it. And I'm like, is all you want me to do say that, like, I'm a feminist? Is that what you want me to say? Like, so that's when I realized she's a combative chick. And I voiced it. I was like, hey, like, I love everything about you. It's been good, but like, this combativeness, like, I don't understand it. Like, I'm talking softly to you. I have been through horrible relationships where I've screamed. I've grown from them. Yeah. So like, I'm not doing that in this relationship. I was very calm, even keeled.
And how old was this girl?
32.
32.
Yeah, 32.
That'd be about as high as I'd recommend you gentlemen to go.
Yeah, 30.
Speaking on experience.
I mean, my last before that was 25. My last before that was 23. You know what I mean? And then before that was 39 to 43.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I mean, yeah. So anyway, man. So things deteriorated very fast when we got back home, and I facilitated part of it because I was at the point where I was like, I need to know what's going on. Like, is this girl serious? Is she not? Like, is she going to be supportive? Is she going to be open? Is she going to be combative this whole time? And the first time I brought that word up, combative, changed everything.
Okay.
She was so hurt, offended, and was like, you are telling me who I am. You're invalidating my feelings, and you're putting this on me. You're accusing me of being combative. I'm like, love, like, this is combative. Like, we can talk. Like, but I'm just telling you how I'm feeling. It feels like you're coming at me, you know, like a fucking man would.
Yeah.
Like,
aggressive.
Aggressively.
The aggressiveness and the hostility, the purposeful disrespect, the tone of disrespect in the voice as well.
And it came out the most, which is like almost embarrassing to share because it's disgusting for me. Because I've never been in a situation sexually. I've had a lot of sex, right? I've never had a woman. The easiest way to say it is her sexuality was almost like a man. When we'd have sex, she would try to like grab my head and slap me. I told her, don't do that again. Don't, like, if you want to be slapped, like, that's not my thing. But like, I'll play with you a little bit. But like, she would start that, and then she would like, we'd have sex, and she would get upset, and she'd be like, I want to come with you inside me, and like, oh no, pull out, I want you to play with me, and like, then she would grunt and like, and just like, it's just like, it's funny.
Sorry.
It's not even funny. It's like, I feel nauseous, you know what I mean? Like, because I'll tell you the rest of the story.
That might have been related to the birth control. I don't know.
I think it is. I think the fact that she doesn't have a normal biological cycle or something, that there's something in her going on, because the rough sex, dirty sex, talking sexual, this is a devotee for Krishna temple, you know what I mean? Like, with people that she guides and leads. So one person here, and then comes to me and it's like, I don't know how much we can cuss on this podcast, but Daddy, turn me around on the couch and fuck me in the back right now. Even on the phone when I was in the Philippines, like, trying to do, like, no one in this world has a dick picture of me. No one has a picture of me naked, right? And so she would want to do that stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not sending anyone. Like, I'll FaceTime you, sure, take your clothes off, whatever. And I realized, like, okay, maybe she's just really sexually attracted to me, but I was like, no, their sexuality side of her was a monster. And that was her dark, evil side that she needed to cover up with Krishna, with yoga, with healing. And that part, it fucked me up the most. Like, I at this point right now, like, even when we're out talking to women, like, I'm gonna fuck a girl again eventually, right? Like, I just don't even, like, I kind of don't want a girl to touch me almost right now. It's like, I feel very dirty, like, from it. Like, and I love, this is very in-depth, I love eating pussy, right? I love making my girl feel good. And the way, and she would try to, like, start telling me, like just aggressive shit. And I'm just like, dude, like, not dude, but like, hey, like, what, like, stop, like, just, you turn me off, like, I can't have sex like this. And a couple times she would ask me, like, hey, is everything working? I'm like, I didn't want to tell her, like, bitch, you turned me off. Like, I should have said that, right? But I was like, oh, let me go drink some water, let's give it a minute. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it got bad, so
the Western women have become too masculinized, bro. I mean,
100%. Oh, gosh. I can tell you the breakup, man, because this relationship was very short, and it taught me the biggest lesson in my life. Though. The one before that, there was cops involved. I got my head bleeding. I got property destroyed. All kind of shit. It was a horrible relationship. But this one was the worst of effect on me, of change on me, right? And so maybe I should be grateful to her for that. But when we broke up finally, like the Tuesday that I got back, my father is old, just dealt with 4 quadruple heart bypass surgeries, on his deathbed, and for some reason he wants to, drink and enjoy himself, end of his life. And I mean, he's taken care of more families and villages than we probably even have met in our life. I mean, seriously, money, building houses, giving money, all kind of stuff. So in a certain sense, I'm like, I love you, Dad. I don't want you to do this, but I mean, if you keep telling me this what you want, fine. What I don't want is that around my girl, right? And man, I didn't talk to my dad for a month after this. I just started talking to him again. I just gave him my location again. But he acted so not good to her. You know what I mean? Like, not good, just so drunk and just like falling and stumbling, embarrassing. And then like he'd question her religion in a weird way, like quite talk about things, right? But my dad's he's a strong man, right? He made from zero to multi-million dollar. He's a cardiologist, you know what I mean? He's retired now. And he's smart. He knows how to handle his money. He did the right things with it. If I quit my businesses today and sat on my ass, I could be fine. And so could the rest of my family, our family.
Right.
So I could tell that she didn't like it, and she asked me, she said, Rocky, can you go talk to your dad? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So I told Dad, I was like, Dad, you're drunk, like, can you go to the room? He's falling, I get in the room. I'm quite stressed out, right? My father's old, he has heart problems, and like he's drinking, I don't want him to. So I'm laying in bed next to her, back in Guatemala, and I'm kind of just like, I'm trying to breathe. I'm just like, okay, I need to stay awake. My father barely made it to the bed. Let me go see if he's fucking breathing every 10 minutes or so. I think she would like me checking on him almost. But then she asked me, like, do you not love me? Like, why aren't you giving me attention? Like, basically just like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, babe. I'm just a little bit stressed out. I put my arm around her. I said, I love you. And I'm sorry, I'm just stressed. And somehow that turned into like a 30-minute whispering conversation because my dad's next door that went so south. I'm looking at her. I'm like, girl, like, nothing wrong has happened. I've always, like, we've been together for less than a month. Like, I tell you I love you. I come to you. I come to your classes. Like, I send you messages in the morning, like I give you my love and my attention. I do it without thinking about it because I want to. I like to. And today, I need you to give me a hug and just not say anything for a minute, right? Just give me a hug and just chill. Like I need to breathe. Like I'm stressed. Like, and then that's when within a week we broken up after that. That's when things started to really, really shift fast. And the last
was this the first time you showed vulnerability with her?
The first time I showed vulnerability is when I talked about the childhood stuff. Maybe I shouldn't have, but like after the documentary came out, I really found myself wanting to talk to somebody about it. And I had stopped using therapy at that point. I was trying to do things on my own again. And so I decided, like, hey, like, maybe she's a teacher, she's a healer, like maybe I can talk to her about it a bit. And I realized that was a mistake when I even opened my mouth about it. Like she didn't get it. She didn't really show much sympathy or empathy, which is not what I wanted, but I did want a partner that I'm gonna be with that knows me, like to understand, like, hey, like if you see me wake up in the middle of the night scream, or like if you see me like having to shut up and like breathe for a second, I'm dealing with shit that's happened at a younger age. I'm able to deal with it now. It just takes effort. You know what I mean? So I have to put that effort in.
Right.
Anyway, so that night of vulnerability with my father hurt me even worse though. You know what I mean, than the childhood stuff, because the childhood stuff was 25 years ago. The fact that I couldn't just have 10 minutes to just be kind of like worried about my dad and be sad, you know, without her going crazy was didn't feel good. And the next week, you know, we started going on like with life, and I'm telling her like, hey, love, like you don't have to go to work as much as you want to. Like, come live with me. I'll live you across. She's like, you're good. I have a 2-bedroom condo, beautiful place in West LA, Beverly Hills. Like everything is nice. And at first she wouldn't, like she didn't want to. So we're going to yoga, some yoga studio downtown one day, and we have a conversation about slowing things down a bit. I'm like, cool. This is how weird and crazy and strategic women are. And this is how I think Casey says it, about how women, whatever they say, that's how they feel then. Right then, right?
Yeah.
So like, cool, we're slowing down. I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, let me detach a bit too. Like, I love this chick. Like, there's a lot of red flags. I'll back up. So I did. We did a little bit. A few days went by, and it's kind of like we see each other once a day at least still. And she still comes to spend the night here and there. But she didn't want to move in at first, and I was like, huh? You don't want to move in here? Like, I'm telling you, like, you can be provided for everything that you're asking for, and you're worried about it. And then as soon as I said that on the drive, like, okay, let's take our time. The very next day, just kind of asked me to move in. So I didn't say yes at first. I was kind of like, okay, we want to take it slow. Like, you know, you're sure everything is good. Like, you want to come? Like, and it ended up not happening because we broke up before then, obviously. But she didn't even like me suggesting, and she told me I was a masculine gender role, and we don't agree on gender roles because she wants to make money or something like that, right? And I was like, I would love for you to keep walking dogs because it's cool. I love you have that job. I love dogs. Right, but you don't need to do it. I saw her picking the dogs to make money over like a Krishna event. I'm like, I don't like that. I love that you're involved in Krishna, and that I don't even know Krishna myself. I'm learning from you, but I love that you're into that. And don't pick making money over that, please, because I'll pay you the money for that. Pick the temple. I'll go take me. I need that in my life too. You know what I mean? Like, and she hated that, and she's like, you know, we don't agree on gender roles, so randomly, man. There are no big fights coming, right? Where we had a couple weird conversations where she got to know sides of my, like she didn't know about a lot of my prison stuff. I have such a long history, it takes a long time for all of it to come out, right? But she knew that I'd been in prison, she knew some of this stuff, but she was starting to like Google me more and go into details and stuff like that. And would kind of ask me questions, and I would tell her the truth. I'm like, yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I was wild. Like, you're seeing a version of me that's grown. That's my past. Like, you know, hopefully you can accept that I'm no longer that person that was 12 years ago. And I don't know, maybe she didn't accept it, maybe she did, but within 3 days after that conversation, at 3 a.m. on a Sunday night, we had a great evening. Till we sat and we watched a little bit of a documentary of Prabhupada, and got in bed. And we made love, went to sleep. I woke up at 3 a.m., her on top of me, and she wanted to have sex again. And the kind of sex that she likes, like demanding, like do it like this, do it like that. Like, she wants to make sure she comes like first and fast and hard, you know what I mean? And like not soft come, she wants to be able to growl and let it out. And it felt like, and she did that, right? And this is not even the worst part of the story. The story gets worse. Like, and after that, 3:30, we fucked for like half an hour, 45 minutes. She came, laid there, and she closed her eyes. And Ben just like this smiled and said, I'm done with this shit tomorrow. I'm out of here. With her eyes closed, smiling. And I was like, I was asleep halfway. I just had sex. I'm halfway asleep.
Bro, that sounds evil, bro.
Okay, now when I'm looking back, like she has demonic something in her. And I really...
That's what it seems like.
I pray whatever that is comes out of her, because it's the position she's in with having people underneath her, women, so many women to teach, like, that's going to be spread, and I hope that it doesn't spread. And it scared me, bro. So I was half asleep, but I got up and I went to the couch and sat there. And I was just like...
Felt uncomfortable.
I felt uncomfortable. I just sat
Spiritually uncomfortable.
Very. And I sat on my couch and I was like, holy shit. That was really weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, I'm going to ask her tomorrow. Maybe she was like dreaming, or maybe like, I don't know, something, I don't know what happened, right? But no, she hopped up. Came out with all the bags and stuff already within 3 minutes. It's like, oh, that's what you're fucking doing? You're on Facebook talking to girls? And I was like, do you even see my phone? Like, I'm not even on my phone, sitting on the table right here. And she berated me for like a couple minutes. She's like, I feel bad for the next person you're with. Like, I hope they're okay. You're a narcissist. You're, just all kind of words, right? And left. Walked out the door at 4 a.m. I didn't even have time to like cry or feel sad. I was just like, what the fuck?
She got everything from you, bro. Oh my gosh, bro.
And then and that was the breakup, right? And usually I would like my past, like when I've been broken up with, I'll call, I'll text, I'll send flowers, I'll try to figure out where I went wrong, right? But I didn't say a word. I didn't reach out, didn't do shit. And a week later, we chatted or something like that on the phone once, and she popped up. Like she tried to call me and check on me, and I was like, "Do you remember what you said?" And they're like, "What? Why are you checking on me? What are you talking about?" And she was like, "Well, I thought you'd be able to." I was like, "I don't really want to talk to you right now," and we didn't talk. I didn't call her back again after that. And she popped up in my office a week later because she walks dogs in the area. And this is where I fucked up. This is where, because I was able, at that point when she broke up with me that morning, if that was the end, clear cut, I think I'd have been okay. I don't think I would have been as affected by it. I think, I might not even be here. I might still be in LA because I was so comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because I was happy, like, I didn't get that attached. I loved her. I thought I was the one. But I kept my level of, like, attachment very, very careful. And I gave her everything with me. Money, time, love, energy, care, respect, talk, vulnerability. Right? I knew that I had to be careful because of the red flags, the small, subtle ones I felt that she didn't want to admit. And if you ask her right now, she'll probably say something to the effect of like, he's a horrible person, he needs help, he's sick, this and that, like, and I didn't do anything, like nothing happened, right? Like, I didn't curse her, I didn't chase her, I didn't show up at her job, I didn't do anything. I mean, like, she shut up all my business, and we went for a walk. Talked, and I was just like, that was really messed up. Like, it kind of really hurt pretty bad. He just like left in the middle of the night, and like now I'm seeing you all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. Like, but we talked for 10 minutes and walked, and then I gave her a hug, and I was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna see her again. And at least like she decided to come to me and apologize or saying it like that or something like it, and made it a little better. I don't know if she did for me or for her, but like I was like, okay, cool. Like, give her a hug and move on. So I gave her a hug, and she's like, she said this, and she's sexual, like, ooh, now I have to go now because like you're doing something to me, like you're making me feel some type of way inside. And I was like, I'm done. At this point, like I'm disconnected from like already from being with her. So I was just like, I can make you feel a lot better than that, baby. I mean, teasing her sexually, right? Because I don't know, naturally. What else? I mean, it's like it's the first thing, especially she says that. But I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, okay, cool. She'll have some sexual thoughts in her mind. And she tells me all the time she plays with herself and masturbates and stuff like that. She told me she watched porn too, and I told her, please don't do that when you're with me. And she actually said yes. She said, okay, I'll just think about you. Who knows if she's telling the truth or not, whatever, but she told me that. And, where was I? So I went back to my office. I get back to work off my laptop. And I'm like, it affected me emotionally like a little bit. And I was still a little bit hurt, like I was sad about the relationship ending and the fact that it wasn't what I thought it was, but I was letting go of it.
Yeah.
And she came back 2 hours later.
Yeah. This is 2 weeks after breakups.
After that, the morning, right? Like, It's 2 weeks after. So I'm like, I did go out of bed. I got a little unhealthy. I took a couple of nights of like distraction. You know what I mean? And I went to Sacramento, hooked up with a random chick, came back down. And the next day I went to play tennis, I told you, and I hurt my back.
Yeah.
That started to be my downfall, but when I hurt my back and I couldn't move. But she came over and like I told her what was going on a little bit, and she was like, oh, like, let's go back to your place and fuck me right now. And my place is right there. So we walked to my place, and that day started something different, a new relationship that lasted for 9 days, where I basically dumbed myself down. I got to the point where I was like, look,
accepted a lesser ideal.
everything. Well, not even that. I accepted the lesser ideal about myself.
Correct.
I was like, you know what?
Correct.
There's nothing I can do about this if I'm blaming you for blaming me. But if I listen to everything you say and I try to fix everything you say about myself, then I'll get better no matter what, right? Because I'm listening to you, and then you'll like me. So like everything she said, I would just okay, I'm not gonna do. Okay, I'll fix this. Okay, I'll do that. And then like that was like 3 or 4 days, and like but during that time, like she was starting to tell me we'd have sex every day, like 10x wilder than it was before. Like she wanted to be hit harder. She wanted to be fucked harder. Come inside her, come in her mouth, like the set. It was crazy. It was. If you need a distraction, you're a little bit hedonistic in some senses, like I am. If it past that, it'll give you what you want, and the girls know that, and that's what she gave me. But I kept telling her, like, no, I don't want just that. Like, I like you. Like, I want to make things work. If we can figure this out and talk. And we had a lot of decent talks, but I realized, like, there wasn't a talk to get to a solution together. It was a talk to see if she could come out.
Get more power.
Right?
Yeah.
And I asked her, finally, the last couple times, like, you know, like, you're saying that, like, we're having sex, like, and you're even saying you love me sometimes, and you're kind of going hot and cold a bit, and, like, are you open to other men? Like, are you open, like, if another man, like, Rocky, I don't talk to guys, I'm in the temple all day. I'm like, you're not in the temple all day, whatever, that's your mask, right? And I know that you guys in the temple, like, she told me, like, y'all are all fucking each other in the temple also. In the temple in LA, like, they're dating and just don't talk about it. Just, they keep it quiet because they have the mask of the spirituality, and they get benefits from it. You know, they get benefits from community, they get free food. I mean, she eats for free, they everything for free. That's like part of her life hack, you know what I mean? Like, and she said, yeah, I am. And
Talking to other guys.
Open to letting a guy approach me. She didn't say she was talking to me, she told me clearly, she wasn't talking to anybody at all. Clearly, but she was open to it. And I was like, well, that's not gonna work for me. So I was in New York and she was in LA, and we were fucking every day until then. She dropped off at the airport. And she told me in cars, like, hey, I just wanted to spend more time with you because I knew about to leave. And it's like good to say bye. So she's like excited to fuck. So like, and then knowing that I'm going away. I wanted to keep the conversation while I'm away too, and keep going. And so finally, eventually, one day we were chatting and she said something, and I was like, fuck this bitch. I had never cursed at her or nothing. And I literally was like, I just kind of let her have it a little bit. And that was the last time we chatted. And it just finally came out, bro. Because like, basically, like, the reason I feel so disgusted about it is because the part where she came back and I tried to like be okay with having a little bit of sex was the part where I turned my back on myself. You know what I mean? Like, and I knew I was doing it. I just thought it was gonna work. I really thought it was gonna. I was like, you know what? If I thought she was right. I put myself. I was like, she's right. I've done everything wrong. Let me fix everything. And like, when I started trying that, I was like, there's nothing there. Like,
it may very well be a giant mistake to trust a woman's guidance over your own intuition.
And yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, and I know myself. Like, I know, like, we have some talks, and like, if she gets to the point of like, you know, a tough conversation, I'll be a little more assertive with it. And she hated that. She'd call it screaming. When I would talk just like this, I'd be like, okay, so A equals B, and then we need to get from C to D. Like, no, why are you talking like that? Like, talk like, because I talk, generally I'm very like, you know how I talk, just like chill voice, low voice. But she would call it screaming when I would talk directly, you know what I mean? And she would hate it. I'm like, babe, like, there's a time for us to be loving, and I'll be loving you all the time, but like, sometimes like, I need to say something, you know? It needs to come out directly, clearly, articulately. I want you to understand it. And I got this from Jordan Peterson, actually, that the way that we're going to see if we understand each other is this. Like, I'll explain myself to you, and then you explain what I explain to you about myself in a manner that I agree with. So if I tell you a story, and then you can relay that story that I told you back to me in a manner that I agree with, then I know you understand me. She hated it. I'm just like, I'm trying, like, I've taken 5 years of like coaching and this and that, and like making yourself better, like trying to apply it to these situations. And that's what it comes down to is, these girls don't want that. They don't want that at all. And like, and with her, you know, we might be dealing with something demonic. My ex before that, I think I shared with you recently as well, messaged me. She popped up at my house 2 weeks after the last bad event with the recent ex, with her father, wanted to have sex. This is the 21-year-old. And then sent me a message, I don't know if I showed it to you or not, a few days ago, saying that I wish you were more manly in the sense that my ex gave me an allowance to take care of certain things each month. And
trying to shame you into giving her money, basically.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. It's been 2 years from that girl, right?
But that's what she was trying.
That's what she was trying to say. And I mean, I was making the most money I ever was when I was with her, and I was spending. I feel so stupid. I was spending so much on her. Like, you don't even realize. Like, I mean, Bahamas, Cabo, Mexico, India, Alabama 4 times, Florida, New Orleans, up and down Cali, presents, cash. Here, if I had change, like from stores, like, keep the change. Here's a credit card. You know what I mean? Like, what else do you want or need? Was the question I'll give her.
Yeah.
And like for her to say that, I realized like it's not even what she doesn't even know what she's talking about. She's still 25. She has a profile now that like a dating profile that says like she's submissive-ish, and looking for her king so she can provide or something like that. The same one that all the OnlyFans girls do. Like they fuck on OnlyFans. They're like, I want my king to provide for me. I'm gonna save myself in OnlyFans until then or something like that. Like, and then they get that 50 or 45, 55-year-old guy that has $1 billion that or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he has. That's what she said anyway, right? He's some international speaker, and he's like older and he has money, like, and those guys will always be there. You know what I mean?
The simps will always be there.
Always be there.
So thanks for sharing all those stories, brother. You're welcome to share more if you want. But
still married, by the way.
Yeah, you and me both.
Waiting on the paperwork. 5 years.
Yeah. Still, be careful about marriages because Rocky's been trying to get a divorce for 5 years with this one girl, and LA County just doesn't let it happen. They won't allow it, so they just keep draining. Keep trying to drain the account.
It's money.
But at this point, brother, would you say, just your opinion? Do you think that Western men and men in general around the world, we have a population decline globally, right? And in many countries, this is just dropping off of a cliff. The older generations are far outnumbering the younger generations, the newborns. Do you think that men, generally speaking, want families, want a legacy, want children?
Men, yes. The younger boys that are out there now between like maybe 16, 17 to 23 or 24 that don't have good influence, I think they're almost turning into the women. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, that's what it feels like, especially at a certain age if they don't have any kind of guidance. So, I mean, And so, yeah, I mean, I think that men take care of their responsibility, take care of their life, like stand up on their own 2 feet.
Why do you think we're having this population decline then? What do you think is bringing that about? What do you think?
Well, you see all the time these college professors even are talking to college students, telling them like, you're messing up the world by overpopulating it. They're literally standing up in front of people's like graduation commencement ceremonies and saying this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so it's being pushed all over. Like, don't have kids, don't do this. Like, it's honestly, what kind of conspiracy could it be? It just feels like they want to end the world or end a civilization or end a country. Because that's how you do it. If you don't have a population.
So you think that's propaganda being pushed into universities and on social media? I think
the universities is where almost all of it starts. I think
the way I see it too, though, is like there's plenty of men that want to have children. There's plenty of men, if 60% of the men in the world want to have children.
Well, now it's just as scary. Like, you don't want to pick the wrong girls right now.
Well, it is. But the thing is that you've got, I do believe that a majority of men, say over the age of 30 years old, want to have a family.
I agree.
But, what is your take on women? Like, to me, it seems like it's women who have been brainwashed, manipulated into extinction mindset.
I don't even think this is like a topic that could be debated. It's clear now. You meet women all the time. Most women are on that level now too. And if not, like in the few that aren't, like great love for them, but like especially the younger ones too. You know what I mean? Like,
essentially women are celebrating not having children, being boss babes,
cat lady,
going extinct, and they just laugh in the face of the idea of having children. Like,
what sucks, man, is like
the craziest psyop ever.
It is, but it's like there's age brackets and gaps, right? If you're 25, you'll understand, you'll connect with a 28 to 30-year-old better. With 35-year-old, you might not, right? These girls from 18 to 24, they're following the ones that are 24 to 35. And they don't realize that 24 to 35, they did the same shit, 18 to 24, giving their bodies away, partying, whatever it is, not doing anything like good, dating multiple men, breaking up, going back and forth. Then at 30 or 25, they're still like, I'm empowered, I'm gonna travel, I'm gonna make money by using the gig economy. Very easy to make money these days, especially for a woman. They get three of the girls I've dated, They do house sitting and dog sitting. I try to start the same apps. People don't hire men.
Yeah.
They hire these young girls.
Yeah,
to do that
and it's
kind of
funny
stuff.
because women act as though things are so difficult and so tough for them. They need more.
It's simple for them right now. All the women have to do is pick a good guy and stay away from the BS. Like, and it's really, if you're a woman and you can't notice, like, if you find a guy like at a bar, like that obviously violent or aggressive or doesn't have any money or is living with his parents or is not trying to do anything for himself, and you pick that and like it doesn't work out, I mean, that's on you. And I don't think, I mean, this might not, a lot of men might not like this, but like, I don't think you should even be trying to find a girl if you can't at least, if you don't at least got some money to like take care of yourself, or at least steadily, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why? Because I mean, then, and this happens in Mississippi a lot. A lot of my friends used to call down there. It's disgusting me. The men would love for women to take care of them, and I started asking people, I'm like, where do y'all do this at? Like, I've never had a woman. I never wanted to. Never like one girl tried to like because she had more money than me. She's a baller, but like.
Well, if you've got a woman taking care of you and wanting to give you everything, she's probably going to be a couple of downgrades from what you could get if you were taking care of
Yeah,
a different woman, you know?
At that point,
So,
it's a very personal thing for me. It's just
lazy, settling mindset. It's a loser's mindset.
It's exactly. I couldn't do it. It's not an ego thing. It's just that that's my position. That's the position I want to be in. I put myself in.
Yeah.
And not only do I put myself there, but society does as well at the end of the day. And so I'm going to take that position. And I don't want a woman paying for anything for me like that. You know what I mean? Like I just don't.
So can I ask you, you've left LA, you're back in Asia. Why Asia? Aside from you want to come hang out with me, correct?
I was just about to say, like, I wanted to see my boy. Well, I mean, honestly, that's a big thing, man. Like, my brother left LA, and I love my brother. We didn't have the best relationship because I was always in jail, or prison, or rehab, or sent away. But now we do have a better relationship, but he still left LA because he wanted to be with a best friend of his in Chicago, and he doesn't see him every day, but he's nearby. So similar for me, like, it's the older we get as men, that we realize those connections we made with other men when we were younger were some of the most important of our lives. And we need to really stay connected with that. I mean, if it's a good friend, if it's like me and Sean, we've fallen out of touch here and there. We even like argued here and there, you know what I mean? Like, but I respect the fuck out of this dude and I love him. So like, you have to keep that, especially like guys, if you're going from like 18 to 20, 25, don't think that at 30, like, you know, like it's gonna be like that to make new, good, close friends.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
That's a good
Like,
point. It does get harder as you get older to really cultivate those like strong bonds, relationships, those true friendships, and that's a lot of energy as well.
a lot. I was just about to say you might not even want to at a certain point. I mean, when you get a certain age, like,
Yeah.
you don't want to like put that.
It's a lot of energy, you know. In some of these countries, in the Netherlands, maybe Denmark, whatnot, I think the average, you know, person has like 10 or 11 good friends. In the Western world, they say it's on average like 2.
I didn't even know that.
And yeah, I mean, just count yourself. My father always said, count yourself lucky if you have even one real friend in this world.
My father said that all you need is one person in your corner and you'll be okay. One person that's alive in your corner and you'll be okay. He said, if it's a friend, it's a girl, it doesn't matter, it's one person. So make sure you have one person.
Yeah. And I'd say, cultivate, you know, have one, if you can, have one male friend as well, because, you know, that's probably going to be a lot more stable than, you know, the experience with females. They are emotional, they're up and down, you know, so cultivate your relationships, you know, your friendships as well. And, you know, some other takeaways as well is like create space in your relationships with your girlfriend, you know, your wife, this kind of thing. This is something that I'm really realizing for myself keeps the relationship richer, healthier even, as me just taking time away. Also, us as men, I think one of the prime modes of operation is freedom. Just like having freedom, and then you know, it's important to take time away, take space away, and ideally design your life in such a way that if you need to, you know, if you have some rough issue or whatnot, you can always take time away, meaning that you can afford to pay for a hotel for 2-3 nights on your own. It's harder to do in the West. It's harder to have that freedom of movement. and even like taking care of yourself and these type of things when you're in the West, in relation to how much easier it is here in Asia.
Yeah, well, as a business owner, that's a plus, right? That's why, like, I hope that anybody that is trying to find a good life, any men out there, like, you realize, like, there's no knocking a job, right? Sometimes you need a job first, but business is the way to go if you want that full life, flexibility, freedom, and have the options and the controls.
Yeah, if you want freedom, you want options, you want the best life you can live, you want freedom of your own time, you want to be able to control your schedule. And it's more than yes, I think a lot of young folks too, they've not had challenges, they've not been pushed or forced into a challenging situation, so they would rather just take what's easy and guaranteed as opposed to taking a couple steps down and putting themselves through the grind and the hustle, the dark years of entrepreneurialism. But that is, I mean, I second what you say completely. That is the way to go. I've always known I wanted freedom myself, and how can you do that when you have a job? You know, you're still working for someone else. So,
and as far as
and time is your number one asset. You know, so you know, freedom of time. Find a way to do it.
And on the marketplace, sexual marketplace too. If you're a man that's single and has the ability to travel, move by himself like that, that's
your options are endless.
Endless. Like you can go around the world,
and then you don't have to be suffering in one-itis and then stuck on one girl and crying your heart out like this mother. You know, no. You know, and we all were dealt a different set of cards. You know, Rocky's an attractive guy, charismatic. He's not as much of a go-getter. You know, I'm you know, similar. We're different. You know, but I mean, I'm a real hunter. You know, have been anyway. You know, don't be scared of failure or rejection. Not with business, not with women. Become immune to those things. Become immune to failure. The only failure is, you know, it's after you know, there is no real failure.
If you stop, you fail. If you keep going, no matter what happens, you make it.
Another really, really powerful point, I think even of myself, is that act the way you would in a relationship, the same way you would when you're not in a relationship. Always be up-leveling. Take space, go to the gym. Up-leveling, focusing on oneself. Of course, give to others. We're loving in our relationships, etc. Take time for oneself, though. Most important. Be centered, be whole, so that when you're with your family or when you're with your woman, that you're whole. You don't have to come from a place of neediness, whatnot. And if she leaves you, or if she wants to start too much drama, or she's a bad choice, that you can just keep on with the same protocol and keep up leveling, you know. And a big, you know, point of recommendation as well is travel. I mean, it's the ultimate, from everything I've gathered, it's the ultimate hack.
It is
to travel.
And if you don't understand
mindset shift,
you haven't done it yet. This is not something that's unique to me or him. This is universal.
Yeah. If you don't agree, it's because you haven't properly traveled yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it doesn't cost a lot of money to travel. You know, Rocky could stay in any place he likes, so could I. And you know, Rocky actually likes to stay in hostels. I guess I could like to stay in hostels as well. But you'll meet so many people, but that doesn't need to cost more than $3, $4, $5, $7, $10 a night. And you know, you can eat
food, free community, free drinks, everything. You get whatever you want there.
It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can spend a lot of money, but if you watch folks on Instagram and if you watch folks on YouTube, you'll start to think, oh, I guess I need to save a lot of money to go travel. I got to be rich, making $20,000 or $100,000 a month so I can get the nice hotel to travel. No, it's all about the experiences. Yes, it is nice to stay in a nice hotel, sure, but the richness of experience can outweigh that 100-fold, and it's not tied to an amount of money that you spend. It does not need to be tied to an amount of money that you spend. In often case, in my 15, 16 years of travel, it has not been the case. It's not been when I've spent the most money that I've had the most fun, etc. It's not been when I've stayed in the nicest place that I had the nicest experience. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yes, it's nice to stay in 5-star resorts, etc. But it doesn't mean that it's not better to go to
hostel.
Yeah, to go stay in a hostel. Yeah, some of my richest experiences have been in hostels.
Same. I was in Italy a couple of years ago, and I was in a hostel, $4, $5, $6 a night. I think it was called Trick Track or something like that. And met a bunch of girls. Met this one chick, right? And we got to play piano together. We had like a group Italian pasta night. We all made pasta together. And I was with her in the hostel for 3 days. This chick was 20 or 21 as well, right? And so the last night, or a couple last night, I was like, oh, I want to get a hotel, 5-star hotel, so I got it. Ended up linking with her for dinner. I got to bring her back to my spot like that. So it's like, it's not, I'm just saying it for an example. Like,
you have the best of both worlds. You could jump into the beehive and then still escape with the queen bee.
As long as you set your life and your finances.
As long as you have a better beehive.
A better beehive. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like right now where I'm at too with women, like, hopefully maybe they see it, if they're not, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm talking like 7 or 8 girls, and none of them, there's no relationship, there's no really sexuality. It's just like they're reaching out to me.
Yeah, well, that's a great place to be in.
And that's where I'm gonna stay. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I like that because you still get interaction, some femininity. A lot of times, like when these girls are reaching out in that place, even if they do have masculine tendencies to your side, there's like
you'll get the best. You'll get the best of them.
You'll get the best.
You don't have to take the relationship part.
And you'll still get sex.
The thing I'd say too is that really what I'd like, foremost to cultivate in myself, and also for anyone that might follow the channel as well. By the way, like, comment, and subscribe, gentlemen. Share the podcast if you do feel so inclined. But what I'd say is, coming from a place of wholeness, finding one's wholeness not dependent on the relationship with another. If you can come from that place, then you can take it or leave it. You're not going to be dependent on that other person, on your girl to be whole, to be fulfilled. So you won't be coming from a place of neediness per se. And that's really the ultimate place to come from, because when you're in that state, you're okay with it or without it. That's a very powerful place to be.
And full circle, that to answer your question before, that's why I'm here. Because I know I'm not at that place yet, right? Like I know, like with my past traumas and things that I worked through, I still have a feeling inside of me that I need something outside of me to make myself whole. But I've had enough experience and exposure to friends like Sean, to coaches, to reading books, to podcasts, to know this now. I know it mentally. I just haven't brought it to my heart yet, and I'm working on it. And that's why I'm in Asia. I don't have any distractions. I don't have the LA distractions, the girls there, the walking around half naked. I don't have people honking and cursing and fighting all day long, and dirty air, and buildings that are so tall. I have nature, and I have me. And Sean doesn't wake up early, so I wake up early and I'm alone. And what am I trying to do? I'm trying to find me whole, alone. And what does that take? Everything is different for everybody. For me, it's like a shitload of pain. Like my body hates it. It shakes. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. I go alone. You're a man. You can do it with somebody. You don't have to be shy. I've cried in front of him before. He's cried in front of me before. Like, we're grown fucking men. But some things you need to want to move through alone, and that's how I'm trying to get back to me.
And pain
it helps.
Is our greatest teacher. It's our greatest opportunity to up level. There's lessons learned too in every single relationship, especially the intimate relationships with women. There's so many subtle lessons to learn. Things about even self-respect and boundaries or what it is, refining what it is that you're looking for, refining what it is to be respected and whatnot.
Exactly.
The sad thing is too, is a lot of men have never really seen much of that at all, because so many of the examples that we have in the West are just, like I said, like we've been talking, combative, very strong, masculine kind of energy, where they're trying to imitate men, and they're not able, you men haven't seen a soft, grounded, graceful feminine. That is so common in a place like Japan. So, Yeah, man.
I mean, the women here, once again, like, guys, you have to be careful. Like, they know this stuff now. They hear these they know. I'm saying it because I can think of my 2 exes ago. She knows how to be submissive-ish, how to act sexual enough, how to give you enough sex in the right way to placate you. Like, and it's very, very strategic.
Yeah.
And is not for your benefit.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
It's like, and then another thing when you're saying boundaries, what I've come to learn about boundaries now, I think, is this: we shouldn't be trying to articulate our boundaries. We should live our boundaries to the point where that vape conversation that I had with her, she would have felt ashamed to even think of mentioning it.
It could have been the end of the relationship. You could have just ended it right there.
I could have walked out.
Yeah, that itself.
The car situation is where I feel that I didn't.
Yeah, that too could have been the end of the relationship. And yeah, man, because once you do copulate, once you do have children with a female, you're going to have some kind of relationship with that female more than likely the rest of your entire life, because you're going to have children, So they might show up at your apartment 30 years later with the child, I mean, you maybe haven't seen them in 5 years, so you're going to have a relationship with that one for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean,
be wise, choose wise, gentlemen.
That's one
go travel if you can. Minimalism, go travel if you can. Go ahead, brother.
And I was just saying, that's one thing I've been lucky on. I want to have kids really bad, and I've chosen some really, really wrong women. So like, I've gotten lucky.
It's all a blessing.
A blessing that I didn't have it with them. I mean, bless their heart. They all have their own problems. They all have their own issues. We all do. But that doesn't mean you put yourself down, man, or go down to their level, or think that you're being nice because you're trying to take care of them. They need to deal with that as human souls on their own, and understand that they are women. They're some of the most beautiful creatures on this planet.
Yeah.
They have a
If they would just embrace their true power, which is their softness and their femininity.
And I heard this on a podcast you were playing, I forget when, the other day. Maybe you were talking to me about it, but it's just like, the beautiful part about it, which is why we like to travel too, we love to explore new things, right? That's what women are for us, what they should be. They're a fucking whole different species almost. They're the way they think, the way they're wired, the way they move, the way they act, the way their hips shake, the way they feel and not think. I mean, all of it, none of it's bad, none of it's good. It's totally different. You know what I mean? So it's like, look at it for that. And if those women can start to embrace that side of themselves, like, they'll start to have everything they want again.
Yeah, their power. I mean, we want to give them everything when they're in their power, when they're in their softness, when they're in their grace. We'll take care of it. I mean, men will take care of all the women in the world with
literally.
I mean, give them the world, which we always have. I also want to say this, gentlemen: if you do get out there and travel, be sure that you make the world a better place wherever you go. Don't go just with a selfish mind and I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take that, give me that, give me that, give me that, and just take. Be sure that wherever you go, you keep a open heart and a sense of gratitude and humility about you wherever you go, so that, I'm sure this video will probably get, 10 or 20 million views. So, we're gonna have a lot of guys traveling after this podcast. So, it's important.
Y'all come join us, man. Come out here. Come out here. You can stay on this couch forever.
we can sleep 10 in here. So, the thing is, we want to make the world a better place. We don't want the world to degrade. So it's important how you travel as well. Travel with the right energy.
100%.
Keep humility. Keep love in your heart. Make the place better than where you found it. Yeah.
Keep that like that, almost like that childish like curiosity in you also, because when we're children, like we're not disrespectful. Like we see things and we want to know about it. So the questions we ask and the way we interact with them are from a place of love. So keep that versus like, I see people travel to other countries and just abuse, like laugh at the culture or turn their nose away. Like, I mean, don't do that. Like, just understand that there's so many different types out there to travel to that. We're telling you to travel to Thailand right now. It might not be for you. I think it is. Like, I love Thailand, you do too. But there might be in other countries for you. If you don't go give it a shot and try, and then also keep a decorum and respect about yourself in those places, you'll never have that magic. You'll never have that experience. You'll only have your little circle in your gas station, your McDonald's, your school, and your 4 or 5 streets, and your 20 or 30 friends in one area that have no idea about the world there.
And don't plan too much either. Leave space for magic to find you.
It will. It'll find you too. I used to hate thinking about area fair. Sean has always been like this, right? So when we were younger, I couldn't resonate as much because I was going through, I was like drugs, prison, jail every day. I mean, it's like, and the people I was hanging out with then too, straight hood. I mean, most of everybody's been killed. My other best friend got murdered last year, shot. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't resonate with Sean at all. They knew like I love Sean as my boy, like they wouldn't resonate. And you know, after you stay around it for long enough, you're like, you start hearing it, and these things are true, man. They're subtle, they're small secrets that are age-old wisdom, like silence and space and not planning or over-controlling, but getting yourself in a position and sitting there to let it come to you. It sounds so airy-fairy, almost like some random woman yoga teacher saying it, but it's true. It is. Like, you don't even have to believe it, you just have to give it a shot. It'll come to you, and the magic, when it does come, you almost at the moment it does come, you almost feel grateful and hopeful at the same time. Hopeful in the sense of like, wow, like I'm starting to see beyond the matrix, like beyond what the norms are. There's levels of energy and transcendence that are there that we can't see. You might call God or Yahweh or Jesus, whatever it is, but they're there. And I mean, if you haven't felt anything like that at all yet in your life, and whatever age you're at, I suggest you to go out there and get in some shit. Like, let
travel,
do something.
Let go of the material. Just jump out of the matrix that you're in. Let the lease go. Let the lease end.
Let your friends get mad. Let your parents
get rid of the car. Get rid of the insurance. Get rid of the cell phone plan, and just get down to bare bones, minimal. You know, you just need a passport, gentlemen. Get your passport, spend $100, get your passport. It'll be the best $100 you ever spent in your life. And then your mind will open up to the potentialities. Go to skyscanner.com, find some flights. Go to hostelworld.com, look for hostels. I mean, for bare bones minimum. If you got money, then go travel with the money that you have, and you don't necessarily need to go stay in hostels per se, but Southeast Asia is amazing. And
if you haven't, I mean, now there's enough information out there. Like if you're even considering it, go Google or YouTube, like how do I live in Southeast Asia, and you'll see tons of videos people talking about from $300 a month to maybe $2,000. And if you spend $2,000 a month, you have like a.
We'll have it in the comment section as well. I've got some of this in the comment section where the Art of Freedom book is going to be released very, very soon here in the upcoming weeks. So you can find a lot of information there just in regards to bare bones, if you want to travel like a prince, like a king, etc. And yeah,
does it, man. This dude does it. Like he's not. This is all real shit. There's no cat. This is no watching a video. This is not like some kind of production. This isn't
15, 16 years too.
Yeah, my whole life I've known you pretty much. Like,
and this is a bold claim, but I just genuinely believe this. I believe I am the foremost expert on Asia and Asian women from a non-Asian perspective. I don't think there's anyone who lives in Asia as a non-Asian, not from Asia, that knows Asia and Asian women better than me. And that's not just like your hookers, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm talking about women at every level.
A few of the hookers in Asia myself.
I don't know.
We've talked about the hooker thing before. I told you my perspective on that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's a time for another podcast or not.
That might be the next podcast. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to share with you all. And we're gonna open up the curtains here in Pi. We're gonna jump back outside on the scooters, and I've got my ice bath I've already paid for today, $4.80. I don't know what it is. Just jump back in there, go have some dinner, go to Night Market, Walking Street, look at a whole bunch of girls wearing yoga pants, and just
nothing else.
You know, in Islam they say, when you see a woman, just put your eyes down.
Yeah.
Because it's such a distraction. You get caught up in passion, you lose your peace. Gentlemen, keep your peace. Keep your peace. Yeah, and stay away from those porn websites. No joke. Keep off Instagram. That shit is dangerous. Gentlemen, God bless. Love you so much. Rocky, thank you so much for the podcast, brother.